Hi everyone, Michael Hughes here. We are actually at our new office today on 1200 Wyoming Avenue. Wanted to give you guys a quick intro to our office and then just give you an update on the El Paso real estate market. It's been a while since my last video. I've had some personal things going on, and also we've been working on a new office and working on a few other projects. So wanted to do another video again for the YouTube audience out there and just talk about the state of the real estate market here in El Paso, talk about what I think the future holds, and just any general comments I have on the real estate market, specifically here in El Paso. So for the past couple of years, in 2021 and the beginning of 2022, we were experiencing a time of low interest rates and a lot of activity in the housing market. So we had a lot of buyers looking, the payments were lower, the interest rates were lower, and the inventory was very, very low. With that, the prices increased pretty dramatically in 2021, especially, even the first part of 2022. But in the second half of 2022, what we saw was the interest rates being increased in order to combat inflation and combat rising prices. Therefore, with the increase of interest rates, that sort of put a little bit of a brake on the housing market. Prices went from increasing 20 to 30% a year, which is pretty abnormal to begin with, and just going up 3 to 5% a year, maybe in some markets 10%. In El Paso, we're seeing about 3 to 5% appreciation. So that's kind of what's happening from 2022 till now. And right now, I would say we're finally seeing a slowdown in the market as far as the interest rates have kind of steadily risen since 2022. So they're probably at their highest point right now. So we're seeing a little bit of a slowdown. We're seeing not as many buyers in the market. We're seeing days on market increasing for homes. So what that means really for buyers is that, so it's both positive and negative. The negatives are, of course, your interest rate's higher. That means your monthly payment will increase. That's really the only negative for buyers. For sellers, your home may sit on the market a little bit longer. The prices have not really gone down though. So like I said, the prices are still increasing about 3 to 5% a year. And the reason we're seeing that is because of a lack of inventory in housing since 2008. So if you watch any of my other videos, you'll know that I talk about this lack of inventory in housing since 2008 till now. That has been like a systemic problem that is not really market dependent each year. It's kind of been a problem since like 2008. So we still have that underlying issue. Just interest rates are kind of putting the brakes on it, increasing the inventory supply slightly. So it's slowing down the market a little bit, but we're not seeing prices drop. So we don't have like an overabundance of inventory. We just have a lot more inventory than the beginning of 2022. So that's the negative. The negative for buyers is that like your interest rates are increasing, or the interest rates are high, you have higher payments. The positive for buyers right now is that with an increase in inventory, you have a lot less competition. So in 2021, we had to give sellers everything. We had to give them over asking price. We had to pay all of our own closing costs. Sometimes we had to do an appraisal waiver where we had to pay over the appraised value. That's what we were seeing in El Paso in 2021. Homes would have 10, 15, 20 offers sometimes, depending on the property. And it was extremely competitive for buyers. So what we're seeing now is basically the opposite of that, where maybe the top homes each weekend, if they're kind of underpriced and they're a great home, will have like 2 or 3 offers, but every other property, you have a lot more negotiating power as a buyer right now. So you're able to get your closing costs paid for, you're able to get off the list price, you're able to kind of beat the seller up on a lot of things, whereas a year or two ago, it was the reverse. So a good strategy, if you are looking long-term to buy something and hold on to it for a couple of years, a good strategy now would be buy now, take advantage of that negotiating power you have as a buyer. And basically there's 2 scenarios that can happen in the future. Let's say you hold on to the house for 3 to 5 years or however long you hold on to it. If interest rates rise, then you locked in at a lower rate than what would have happened, right? If the interest rates go up and you locked in at a time where, you know, your buying power is pretty good. If the interest rates go down, you still took advantage of that time of getting a good deal and having a stronger negotiating power as a buyer. And now you are able to refinance your rate in the future if the rates go down. So you're kind of getting the best of both worlds. And the refis, they're not like completely free. you do pay some costs and fees associated with the refinance. If you're a VA home loan buyer, if you're using the VA home loan, you can do what's called a VA IRRRL, and that is a streamlined refinance, so a lot of your costs are taken out with that. If you're FHA or conventional, you can still do a refi, and it's probably going to be worth it if the rates drop a point or two even. It's going to lower your monthly payment a lot. So I do think it's a good time to buy in that sense, where you have a lot more negotiating power, and if the rates go down in the future, you can refinance, and if they go up, great, you locked in at a low rate now. So just looking forward to the future as well, what I see long term is that with these higher interest rates, we are still seeing appreciation right now. A lot of people said that the market was going to crash with the high rates and prices would collapse, but we're still seeing a small uptick in prices each year. Even with the high rates, it's kind of put the brakes on the market a little bit, but the market is still moving forward each year because we have that underlying systemic supply issue. Basically, in the future, a couple of things could happen. If the rates stay where they're at, you can expect the market to just kind of chug along where we're at right now. It's probably going to increase year by year a little bit, and that increase in property value, that increase in prices, that's going to continue to happen till we get way more inventory on the market. That's probably going to be something that would happen maybe 10 plus years in the future. And then if the rates go down, we're going to basically see what we saw in 2020, 2021, where the market was very competitive. It's going to go back to being very competitive for buyers, because all of a sudden you're going to get a lot of buyers coming into the market because of the lower payments and lower interest rates, and the market's going to go back to being very competitive again for buyers. So those are essentially the two scenarios that I see playing out with the real estate market. And here in El Paso, that's pretty much what I see. It's fairly consistent. El Paso, I would say, is sort of like a median average market in the United States. Some places in the United States, they are a little bit overheated, so things may drop, and vice versa. But that's generally what I see happening in the El Paso market. If you have any questions about buying or selling a home in El Paso, please reach out to me. We also do property management now as well, so if you need help renting out your property, feel free to contact us as well. It's good to be back making videos again. If you like the content, please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.